A traditional tattoo style is seeking refuge in the United States after being forced out by its own creators. The Japanese traditional tattoo style has not seen much change since its creation in 1607 Japan. But what are some of its distinct features?
The strong, distinctive part of Japanese tattooing is a lot of it has to do with the background because there's, you know, elements in the background which could be waves, wind, clouds, rocks, and that's kind of the glue that ties the whole tattoo together. Um, and what's common in a Japanese tattoo is like one subject, like a tiger or a snake, and then you adorn areas around them with common flowers often. And also, Japanese tattooing is is kind of seasonally themed as well. So that makes it a very distinctive style of tattooing. Um, it's also very timeless because Japanese tattooing that was done say 100 years ago, you're going to see that exact type of tattooing in modern times, and that's what I model my work from. And 100 years from now, people doing the Japanese work, it should look like it looks today and looked like 100 years ago.
Tattoos have been a part of Japan's culture throughout almost all of their recorded history. But why were they looked down upon and outlawed multiple times?
So actually, I know that they didn't particularly like them. Most of the time, it was like a symbol of status, actually, that like they would mark their criminals with tattoos. A lot of people get those like bands or like wristbands, ankle bands. Those would signify that like you did a crime and you have like a life sentence. So they still, a lot of older Japanese people find tattoos to be marks of like yakuza criminals. I know there's bathhouses that traditionally don't like people who have tattoos. They won't let them bathe in the same waters as people who don't have tattoos. So it's a little frowned upon, but as time progresses, it's getting more accepted, but it's still a little controversial, I guess. Yeah.
For what I hear, they don't like it at all. They look down upon it. It's more like a gangster type thing.
With old and modern day criminals like the Yakuza to blame for the bad image of tattoos in Japan, the traditional Japanese style is gaining more and more popularity over in the United States.
It's gotten a lot more popular. I would say about 20 years ago, I started seeing customers coming in asking for the basics in Japanese tattooing. Like they were asking for koi fish, dragons, tigers, and I just saw a trend starting to build. And over time, I got many more customers. People would see the work on somebody else and they'd refer them to me. And then, along with business for me getting bigger with the Japanese work, I saw it becoming popular in tattoo magazines, and this was pre-internet. And so you'd start seeing larger Japanese pieces in those, and then some books dedicated to Japanese tattooing. And then, when the internet came about, it got even bigger. And along that time, there were people, including me, that were starting to really specialize in just that. But yeah, it's I've seen it just explode over the last 20 years, and it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger.